Hey everyone, it's Miss Cavallo. So I am going to be reading the 7th book of the Zoey and Sassafras series, and that is called Grumplets and Pests. So before I read, I'm going to read the back of the book, which is the blurb, to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek as to what this book is going to be about. So in the 7th book, Zoey and Sassafras are excited to enjoy their summer with their magical friends. But why is everyone so grumpy? A bunch of bad days, one after the other, led Zoey to suspect that something more is afoot. It's up to Zoey and Sassafras to solve the mystery before they end up with one bummer of a summer. So I am going to start off by reading Chapter 1. So Chapter 1 is called Growing Food. Blah! Pip wrinkled his froggy nose as he poked at a leaf in my garden. Humans really eat these things? I giggled and nodded. Kale is totally delicious. My mom makes kale chips by tearing it up, adding a little salt, and baking it in the oven. They taste just like potato chips. Yum. Pip narrowed his eyes at me. Potatoes are also a weird thing to eat. Humans are so strange. Meow. Sassafras tapped a kale plant further down the row. Oh no, not you too. I scooted over and ruffled his fur, but he didn't look up at me. Instead, he kept poking at a kale leaf. He sniffed at the leaf's underside and leapt backward. Ooh, what is that? I touched what looked like a pile of tiny green dots on the bottom of my kale leaf. They moved. Whoa! Sassafras started sneezing and snorting. He batted at his nose with his paws. Oh dear. I grabbed him and plucked a single green dot off his nose. I held it up to my face and squinted. I see 6 legs. It must be some kind of insect? Ooh, an insect? Pip hopped over. Finally, something delicious in your garden. Ha! I said as I got down on my stomach to take a closer look at the kale leaf. No! There are a ton of tiny holes. These bugs are eating my kale. I tried shaking the leaf, and Sassafras tried batting at it, but the bugs stayed put. Allow me, said Pip. He reached out, pulled off a bug, and popped it on his tongue. But then he made an O shape with his mouth and his eyes crossed. Ew, they're so sour. He handed the wet bug back to me. Sorry, Zoey. I wiped the slobbery bug on my pants. Thanks for trying, Pip. I sat down with a big sigh. We can't get them off, and there are so many. Apparently, they're too gross to eat, but they're going to eat all of my kale if we don't do something. Pip patted my arm. I'm sure you will think of a plan, Zoey. I turned to Sassafras. What do you think, Sass? Any ideas? But he wasn't listening. He was looking off into the trees, ears twitching. Maybe Mom will know what... I started to say before Pip shouted at me. Why did you even invite me over if you're just going to go back inside? He crossed his arms and scowled. Well, Before I could finish, he kept on yelling. Your garden isn't fun anyway. I'm tired of playing with you and Sassafras. I'm leaving. He gave a big stomp and hopped off. Pip? Wait! I called after him, but he didn't turn around. Well, that was weird, I said to Sassafras, but he was still super distracted. I carefully plucked a tiny bug off the leaf to show my mom. I was almost to the house when I realized Sassafras wasn't following me. Are you coming, Sass? He looked between me and the forest, meowed, and then trotted inside with me.